Hello, my Grimling.
Oh, and with all this, I thought I was in the wrong place. I bid you well.
Hey Grimlings, it's Bella. So, second video in a while. I posted one at like 0:30 this morning. Really early, like 1:20. Really early. While I was binge watching Coven. I have only actually just started watching the American Horror Stories. So, yeah, I was a little slow to come to that party. But, works out because it is October, the season of the witch, and I have a lot going on for it. I'm planning on doing a couple of haul videos, movie reviews. Of course, I want to try and get through the Universal classic black and white monster movies for my classic horror reviews. But today is going to be a review of the very first season of American Horror Story, Murder House. So, like I said, I literally just started watching American Horror Story. Technically, I started last week, but I've been watching a season a day when I get the chance. I watched Murder House on Friday, I think, and Asylum on Saturday. Went through the whole week, watched Coven last night, planning on watching Freak Show tonight, and then it's Hotel, and then I'm completely caught up until Netflix gets season 6. Which might not happen anytime soon. I don't want to just start watching season 6, although it's still currently running. I really don't want to come in the middle of a season. I really hate doing that. For one thing, it's confusing. Which starts us off with, which leads into our reviews. So, Murder House. It's not my favorite, but it's not bad. I do really enjoy it. It's a little crazy, though. It's not as bad as Asylum. Asylum, oh, yeah. But it's got a lot going on still. I mean, you've got the whole rubber suit, guy in the rubber suit. You have the whole question of, you know, who is Tate. You have all the ghosts and their backstories, and it's just kind of crazy. It was really fun, though, you know, and I'm not gonna lie, so a lot of you, if you've watched my past videos, you know I hate slow shows. It starts off slow, and I literally was like 2 episodes in and kind of worried, like if it didn't start picking up, I was gonna turn it off, and that would have been a really big mistake on my part, but it did pick up, and I stuck with it, and it was great. I really, you know, so I like Evan Peters' characters. I really do. I liked him as Quicksilver in the X-Men Days of Future Past and X-Men Apocalypse, what I've seen. I still haven't finished watching both of them. But I've liked every single character he's played, which is a little worrisome when he's playing a violent psychopath. I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, I like him, I love him, but wow, dude, you are messed up. I don't like the reoccurring rape plot. I really don't. They do something like that so far in every season I've seen. In season 1, it's the whole, oh look, here's the Antichrist, which I think the show could have done without that, but that's me, I guess, you know. It's just crazy. I did feel, actually, you know, I felt really bad for Tate because the kid has a really shitty life, followed by a really shitty afterlife, and I mean, it's just kind of crazy, you know. Just insane. But yeah, I do feel like really hugely bad for his character. It kind of sucks for him. Jessica Lange is amazing. I hope I pronounced her name right. She's amazing. She's been amazing in every single season. They like to make her play characters that are kind of... They're sympathetic in the most backhanded way possible. You know, like they are... Constance in Murder House is a horrible human being. She's, you know, she has one son who is physically deformed and mentally deficient, like probably only has the mentality of like a 4-year-old. And she keeps him locked up and chained up in the attic. She has a daughter with Down syndrome who she treats like shit. And then she has Tate, who ostensibly is, you know, the perfect kid, you know, good looking, mentally all there, you know, which I think also makes Tate's character significantly more sympathetic, because you see what he grew up with, and you see, you know, and it's funny because you see that he cared about his sibling. You see that he cares about Violet, and he does. I mean, nobody's going to look at that and go, you know, I don't think Tate Langdon cared about Violet. Yeah, he did. Which makes it really weird when the psychologist, the therapist says, you know, you're a psychopath, you're incapable of feeling love or true remorse, and you're like, what? Does not compute. That was another thing, you know, Dylan McDermott plays the therapist, the father, husband in this, and, you know, like, it would have completely really destroyed the story, you know, if there wouldn't have been a story at all if they had done it, but I honestly would have, if it was me, I would have just left. I would have just left his ass. Because, I mean, she catches him, the wife, Vivian, who is played by Connie Britton, she catches him in their bed, screwing a 20-something-year-old student of his. Yeah, no. Done. Witch out. I'm gone. You know, that's my theory on it. Which would have completely ruined the story. There wouldn't have been anything. And they do actually show a scene, you know, where she's talking about leaving. She's packed. She's ready to go, and he talks her out of it. But you guys, I don't even know how they got married, because this guy literally spends every freaking episode psychoanalyzing everybody around him to death. And you're literally sitting there going, you know, I think you have like some sort of psychological disorder yourself. Like, personally, if I was a betting person, I'd bet for narcissism myself. But and he does kind of say at the end, he's like, you're sort of like me. I'm sort of a psychopath myself. There's a difference, though. I don't think there is. I feel like the therapist, I think his name was Ben Harmon. I feel like he could have been just as bad. And I totally disagree with his his diagnosis on psychopathy versus sociopathy, because I'm fairly certain, of course, psychology was not my thing. I took one sociology class, which does kind of talk a little bit about psychology, but not really. But I really feel like, I feel like it's more like sociopathy, because it's that whole just incapable of functioning like other people do. But then, what do I know? It does kind of annoy the crap out of me, because I really don't feel like that's an accurate diagnosis. And I really feel like it kind of because he's like, you're a psychopath, you're incapable of feeling anything, and you're the worst kind of psychopath because you can convince people that you do care and you do feel things, and you're just kind of sitting there like, I don't agree with your diagnosis. I really think, I really believe he cared about Violet. I really believe that he realized, hey, I fucked up majorly. So I don't know. I liked the chemistry between Tate and Violet. That was fun to watch. I especially love there's a scene that takes place at Halloween in the show, and he brings her a rose, and it's black, and he goes, I know you don't, he says something to the effect of, I spray painted it black because I know you don't like normal things. And I think that's adorable, personally. Guy says that to me, that's, girl said that to me. If anyone said that to me, it would probably be like a really big moment in my life, I think it's cool. But there's a lot of backstories. The fun thing about American Horror Story is it never has a recap at the beginning, previously on. Nope, no it doesn't. Instead, it gives you something new, which can be a little much. For Murder House, it wasn't so bad. Most of it was sort of showing how people had died. I think there was one that showed who the man in the rubber suit was, and a couple other little things like that. But for the most part, it was just showing you how the occupants of the house, the ghosts, had ended up there, which was pretty cool. It was fun. And I really look forward to telling you guys all about what I thought about Asylum in my next American Horror Story review. So, Creep It Real Gremlins, and hopefully tomorrow I will have a movie review up. I don't think I'll have any hauls up until Thursday. But Thursday should be fun. So, Creep It Real Gremlins, and I'll catch you on the bright side.
If they ever ask about me, tell them I was more than just a great set of boobs.